Hi again from Sorrento. Headlines here in Motor Trade News. 1 in 10 buyers are completely thick and shouldn't be allowed out on their own. Oh no, sorry, that's not what it says. I was just like paraphrasing. 9 in 10 buyers want independent battery health checks for EVs. Startline finds. August Startline used car tracker shows 88% want to know how the battery has been looked after by previous owners and 83% how long it is likely to take to fully charge now. August the 19th. Almost 9 out of 10 people want an independent certified assessment of the battery's health when buying electric vehicles, EVs, according to August Startline used car tracker. The research also showed that 88% want to know how the battery has been looked after by previous owners and 83% how long it's likely to take to fully charge now. Furthermore, 83% would like an indication of how much capacity it is likely to lose in the future. 81% the amount lost since the car was new, and 78% how much charge it can currently hold. Paul Burgess, CEO at Startline Motor Finance, said, as the motor industry is learning more and more about long-term reliability of electric cars, it is becoming clear that battery failure and even rapid decline in battery capacity are rare occurrences. Well, they're not rare occurrences, to be fair. However, when things do go wrong, it can be very expensive. Our data shows this message has reached consumers, and there is a very strong desire to find out as much as possible about the battery of any car they are considering buying, and for this check to have a high degree of credibility. No one wants to run the risk of having to pay a bill running into many thousands of pounds for battery repair or replacement. Of course, credible companies offering battery health check services are already present in the UK, but we don't have a formal industry-wide scheme of the type seen in some European countries. That leaves a credibility gap and is certainly something that would help inspire confidence in the used electric car market. He added that all of the responses on the battery health checks for EVs were within 3% of when the same questions were asked in the Startline used car tracker a year ago. Burgess said sentiment has barely moved at all, according to our data, which suggests that this is something that car buyers very much want. Of course it's something they want. They would be stupid not to. It should be on every MOT. The market should be moving faster to meet that need. The Startline used car tracker is compiled monthly for Startline Motor Finance by APD Global Research. This time 300 consumers and 60 dealers were questioned. Now again, going back to volt test, some pretty good news I would consider from volt test. In America, if you do a battery state of health test using the volt test diagnostic machine, you can actually extend the battery warranty. I don't know how much it costs, but so long as it's above 80%, you can extend the battery warranty. Now, I call him David, but I think he might be called Davida. I keep forgetting to ask him what his name is, who is one of the lads that have lent me this machine. Niccolo Ferrari, co-founder of Volt Test, ex-Ferrari, ex-Ducati vehicle engineer. We're rolling out Volt Test Protect, a unique battery extended warranty for any electric car, unlimited mileage and unlimited age. This means it's also valid for out of warranty EVs. Yes, even that Tesla Model S from 2014 that you saw at your local dealer. The only requirement to enroll in Volt Test Protect, the Volt Test report should show a state of health higher than 80% when consumers enroll. For dealerships, this is an easy way to boost margins by more than $1,000 on each EV sold. We already have customers making $20,000 to $50,000 each month just by selling the extended warranty with the EV. Now, to be honest, I've asked them if it's coming to the UK and they say they'll make it happen. I don't know what the cost is. I would imagine it's not cheap because obviously a battery is half the price of the car. Usually if you get an extended warranty on an ICE vehicle, something goes wrong with the ICE vehicle, it's not usually the whole engine, it's usually part of it. Unlike the battery pack, you know. So it's something that's needed, battery state of health and a proper warranty on the battery. Instead of this brain dead scheme by the government where they give a grant, and so far I believe the 3,750 grant hasn't been given to any vehicle whatsoever. Instead of doing all that stupid stuff, what they should have done is set up an insurance company and done an EV battery insurance and funded it. I mean, they could even try and make profit if they wanted. If none of these warranty companies want to do it, then the government do it. Christ almighty, how much did it cost us to bail out the banks? Forget about, once you knock money off a new vehicle, a corresponding amount comes off the used vehicle. So you may as well not knock it off in the first place. And if somebody else is giving you, if a third party, i.e. the British taxpayer, is giving you that money, it just goes, it's wasted. And it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing, because the person just pays £3,750 less when he buys it, but when he sells it, he gets the equivalent amount, and it does a whole lot of damage to the motor trade on residual values as well. So it's not just the £3,750. That £3,750 has a knock-on on ICE vehicles as well. 80% of vehicles sold are ICE vehicles. 96.6% of used vehicles that are sold are ICE vehicles or have an ICE engine in them. Only 3.3% are full battery electric vehicles. So you're affecting all those residual values. Whereas if you targeted the problem, and the problem is the cost of batteries and people's reluctance to buy something without knowing all about it, just create an insurance scheme. Guarantee the batteries. Do something like that. Instead of this brain dead fucking VAT scheme and you know, the way to sell vehicles is to overcome people's objections. If somebody goes into a dealership, and you get people, they come in determined not to buy them. I go back to when I was selling websites for a short while. My first customer, 2 partners, one of them wanted a website, could see the advantages of it. The other one didn't want to spend the money. And one was asking me questions which he wanted a good answer for, and one was asking me questions which he hoped would be a bad answer, and he could base, a gotcha, we're not having the website, gotcha, it's no good. But if you can overcome all their objections without lying, telling the truth and pointing out how it works and how you can benefit from it, then at the end of it, if the person has no objections left, he's going to buy it, he's going to buy the product. And those people on my first visit bought it, overcoming objections. Ages ago, see all these, again, these flipping, the full of shit show. 90% of people won't go back to ICE cars. And who are they asking? They're asking all the sycophants. The ones they should be asking is the ones that have gone back to ICE cars and the ones that won't change. Why? Why won't you change? They're asking the wrong people. But they ask the wrong people because they want the right answers. What they should do, you see, that was like my first website sale. One person wanted it, the other person didn't. What did I learn? I learned more off the guy asking the questions who didn't want the website than I did off the one that did. Full of shit show. Don't believe any of that crap. It's just ridiculous. They cannot believe the stuff they print themselves. Absolute garbage. Let me just see if I can find this quickly. This, his first pinned tweet, an awful lot of debate around electric vehicles does seem to boil down to people who've never owned an EV telling EV owners what it's like to own an EV. But yet, he, from what I can gather, came to this job from something to do with cycling, and he's telling everybody in the motor trade when he's never been in the motor trade. So perhaps he should just kind of learn from his own tweets 35 minutes ago. When it comes net zero, I see a lot of people saying, what's the point the UK doing it when others like China aren't? Well, it is. China is installing renewables pretty much faster than anyone else. Its emissions are actually beginning to go down. From what, Colin? What they're going down from? They're going down from an astronomical amount. They're also commissioning coal-fired power stations all the time. By the time they get their EVs to us, which are produced making dirty fuel, they take virtually twice as long to become carbon neutral as one of the legacy manufacturers' EVs. 2 million people a year die from pollution in China. 2 million. So that is very, very misleading. He knows it's misleading. If he doesn't know it's misleading, then he's stupid. Its emissions are actually beginning to go down. Yes, sure they are. But if you look at the graph, China is up there and UK is down here. And we're buying EVs from them, kidding ourselves that we're creating clean air, killing Chinese people. A reminder that in the real world driving, PHEVs consume 350% more fuel than their manufacturers claim. This means the UK's best-selling PHEVs only save their owners £117 a year over their petrol equivalents, but they don't really because they cost more. That figure jumps to £1,050 if those owners had gone for an EV instead. Well, no, it doesn't, because EVs depreciate like there's no tomorrow. They would actually save money by running an ICE car because ICE cars don't depreciate as much. So whole life costs are cheaper on an ICE car than they are on an EV. Again, he conveniently neglects that. I told him time and time again. I've corrected him on some other things. I've corrected the Climate Intelligence Unit. They just ignore you. They ignore you while calling for retractions off everybody else. There's the source for the 350% start. Now, I happened to notice yesterday, a guy from Japan was saying that I think it's cleaner to run 3 PHEVs than it is 1 EV, something like that. I'll try and find it. Plug-in hybrid car owners wasting 70 million a year by not charging smart. PHEVs too often driven like heavy regular hybrids. Plugs aren't used to charge the car's battery at home. Helps explain why they consume 350% more fuel than their manufacturers claim. But now this is PHEVs. These are flexibilities. So he's going on about all that lot. Let's just go down. Here we are. I've done this before, but Colin Walker, August 8th, fact check. A, new cars with petrol engine hybrids will continue to be sold until 2035. B, sales of second-hand petrol cars can continue indefinitely. C, industry hit its EV sales in the first year, 2024, and is on course to do so again in 2025, i.e. not proven impossible so far. Well, it is proven impossible so far because they've spent £6.5 billion. The profits in the motor trade have been decimated. Workforce is lost, factories shut down, car dealer profits again absolutely decimated. And as he knows very well, they're nowhere near the 28% full battery electric vehicles. You've had to use the flexibilities. What are the flexibilities? They're small engined ICE vehicles or PHEVs, HEVs, hybrids. And as he's acknowledged, they're not electric vehicles, they're just petrols. They use 350% more fuel than the manufacturers claim. He's said it, but you see, it's inconvenient here. He knows full well that the industry didn't hit its target in 2024. It's not going to hit its target in 2025, and it's projected to fall hundreds of thousands of units short over the next couple of years. But it's just convenient for him to forget and spout rubbish like this. And that's what you get, you see, because they've got an agenda. I don't have an agenda. I just want the motor trade to continue and to give somebody else 50 happy years of employment. And not, I was going to say like me, I've not had 50 happy years of employment in it, but the majority has been enjoyable. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.